Well, we have to give you the news, but we know that we have the social network platforms for you always to get communicative, and we have this WhatsApp number 0560-800,000. Many of you sending us a lot more of those messages. And Rex manager Toyota Ghana, you're in Takwa now. Edwin Safo, you're saying that Mama V just killed your appetites for breakfast this morning with the issue of
what's his name again?
Discussion. Edwin Safo.
Edwin, haven't you done it this morning? Why are we pretending?
All right, let's get mainstream into the news. And tricycles may not be a popular mode of transport in the southern parts of our country.
But as one moves up north, commuters use these tricycles as the main means of transportation. And on his recent visit to the Upper West region, President Mahama took a ride on one of them. In the following report, Derek Ekolsam tells the story of what has become known as Mahama Kumbu.
It's a common sight here in the northern part of the country, I'm in Tamale to be precise, and these tricycles flood the streets. They have different names for it. Some call it Mama Kambu, some call it Yellow Yellow. It appears that the people of Tamale have found love for this. They bought it everywhere they go. I want to know, why have these tricycles flooded the streets of Tamale, and what indeed are they used for? Is it a lucrative business?
I see it to be the most effective job in town. That's what. Because the first time I was in the house, I was doing mason work. I follow my other friends to go to mason work. It came to a time I find out that this thing, like when you are using it, you also get something better than going there. So I find out I follow my madam to buy this one. You can't get money every day like that. So maybe in a market day or when there's an occasion, you also get what you need.
I'm a student, but I just completed last year, but I have no job. So I see that if I'm doing this thing, it will help me a lot. So that's why I'm doing it.
You get a lot of money from doing this job?
Yeah.
And how much do you get in a day?
Well, actually, I can't best tell, but we are getting money in it.
Is there money in this type of business?
Yeah, if you're hardworking, you can get.
So in a day, how much do you make?
It depends. It depends your season. You can, some are season less, some are season high. So for me, I'm able to get.
So how much do you make roughly?
Roughly 60 cedi.
Well, last month, the Brong-Ahafo Region Road Safety Commission proposed a ban on the use of tricycles for commercial purposes. But the riders say a ban on these motor tricycles will mean an end to their source of income.
If they do that, they will disturb people.
How will they disturb people?
Because most of women like to enter these motorbikes because the money is cheaper than the taxis.
Okay. And is it because it's also more convenient? You can enter places the taxis cannot enter?
Yeah, this one can go to some place and taxi can and not go that place. So that's why people like this one. They move faster and the money too is cheaper.
If they ban it, it will affect a lot of people in a country.
How?
Because people in a country like it because it is, and the price of it is low.
When it's banned, customers too will not like it.
Why?
They are enjoying it more than the olden days they were using.
Well, they tell me it's a lucrative business. It's something that they have loved for and want to go on with it. They tell me if it's banned, they won't have the money to take care of their family, and also other customers who ride in it may not have the convenience after all. Well, anytime you are here in Tamale or any of the northern parts of the country, maybe you should hop in for a ride. For Joy News, Derek Ekolsam, Tamale.
And I should confess, I sat in one recently here in Accra. Not very much in our part of,
It was supposed to be, like some form of taxi.
Yeah, I was in a hurry, and it just happened to.
Oh, you take all sorts of risk. I'm not criticizing you. I'm just curious.
Oh, it's not a risk. I think when you go to, I saw it on YouTube in India and the city of Delhi. A lot of them. So I saw one on the road. I said, why not just take it and see?
Yeah. So
I enjoyed it though.
How do they get the clients?
No, I think they just roam around the streets. They have their numbers embossed on the cars or just posted on the cars or whatever, tricycles as we call them. And so when I bought it the first time, the second time I called him.
Because you would easily think that they are, like distributing products or something. That's what they are known for, to me. So I wouldn't readily stop them and sit in one.
Okay.
Because, yeah, well, but is it legal?
I don't know about it. I see them in town. Now let's get on to this very subject. Investigations conducted by the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center on behalf of the Commission on Small Arms and Light Weapons indicates that there are at least 2.3 million weapons circulating in Ghana.
But the Commission says only about 1 million of those weapons have been registered with the Ghana Police Service. Senior Programs Officer at the Commission, Johnson Asante Chum, however, says political parties must caution their sympathizers against using arms to settle electoral disputes.
It is also true that elections have become the trigger of armed violence around Africa. As a country, we didn't need to wait to get closer to election before we all start, asking the questions, what should the Commission do? We should start working a day after the last election to make sure that we do that till we enter into another election cycle. And then we all can go back and sleep safely and soundly. So we will do our bit. Last week we were in Dodowa with the political parties as part of our proactive measure to make sure that our election do not become violent and people do not use arms in settling electoral dispute. And so we got the political parties together to start talking among themselves to say, if we are going into an election, what do we do so that you don't end up like other countries have ended up? And so that was why we put them together. So that is a clear example of what the Commission is doing to make sure that, the political parties come together and start talking. If the weapons are there and nobody uses them, they will be useless. So they could be there. How do we get them out? The difficulty in arms management is that once it gets into your territory, getting it out becomes almost impossible. It becomes very difficult, if not impossible. So your other next line of action is how do you get people not to use the weapons that are already in your system, not to take advantage of it, to use it. So that is one aspect that, so you do the preventive, that is the supply side, and then you also deal with the demand as far as weapons are concerned.
Ex-President John Ejikon Kufuor has criticized government's handling of the National School Feeding Program, saying or describing what he says is the politicization of the process of selecting caterers and delays in paying them.
And Mr. Kufuor was responding to questions from journalists at the launch of the Global Panel on Agriculture and Food Systems for Nutrition here in Accra.
The program can be improved and sustained in a much better way than it's going so far. I think you answered a lot of the questions you put. Late payment of suppliers, politicization of the cooks. Originally, as you know, we wanted the mothers and the local women, like in the Indian tradition, to be the suppliers for the program. It was meant to be a local initiative that would involve the farmers, the families, for the benefit of the children. So it's a cyclical thing we launched, and to also enrich the locality. But you yourself said the perception now is politicization. Contracts are going to people who may not necessarily even come from the locality. That's not the way to go.
The man accused of stabbing his girlfriend to death at the University of Professional Studies has reportedly confessed to the crime.
Well, Jennifer Atieko died after she was allegedly stabbed by Paul Eganame, who is currently on admission at the Medina Pentecost Hospital. Here's a report by Kofi Mensah.
Last week Thursday, Paul Eganame stabbed his girlfriend Jennifer Atieko, who was a level 300 student of the University of Professional Studies. He later attempted to commit suicide. However, medical officers at the Medina Pentecost Hospital resuscitated him. The medical administrator at the hospital, Dr. Godwin Atto, disclosed that some internal organs of Paul Eganame were damaged.
Today is the third day post-surgery. He's recovering very fine. At the moment, he's taking light diet.
We understand he sustained a very deep stab wounds. Can you tell us maybe to some extent the damage he may have sustained?
the details I cannot offer because I need to protect his privacy. That's a confidential thing. But I can confirm that the extent of damage was severe. He sustained very deep injuries too.
And when are we likely to see him come back to full life?
Well, maybe by the close of the week, he should be able to come out of hospital. But the rest of it will also depend on his recovery. But I'm looking at the close of the week next week, he should be back to, yeah.
And since he was admitted here, has any family member visited him?
Well, I'm told some relatives have come around. I have not met them, but that was the report I got.
Meanwhile, the public relations officer of the Greater Accra Regional Police Command, ASP Efiatinge, told Joy News that the police will level murder charges against Paul Eganame.
He has actually confirmed to the crime, and he says he did it because he and the girl, he just couldn't afford to lose the girl even for a day. So in a jiffy, he has confessed to it. If you commit murder, it is one of the major offenses, in our books or in our statutes. And it is so clear. And he has also admitted that yes, he has done it. So I think there is not much to say apart from the fact that we all wish him well, that he recovers very quickly for the police to prosecute him before court.
Well, so that'll be it for the news. We have a lot more of your messages on our WhatsApp platform. We want to read some of them to you.
And I'm smiling because this one starts with Hot Roland and Sweet Mama Fiabuaji. I say a very good morning to you and the powerful Joy News crew. Ghanaians must believe that when knowledge increases, love deepens. Greetings to my love, Na Dromo, and it's from Afelete Avula in Akuse. Sending us that message this morning.
It's Afelete Avula from Akuse.
All right. Yeah. We've got a lot more messages, but let's see. Okay, let me read this one. The final one, and then we'll come back and review what we have in terms of the newspapers and some of the online portals. I wish all workers of Joy News, this comes in every morning. A happy Wednesday and good morning to you all. Greetings to my MP. Okay, now we're doing some kind of politics. I come back and absorb the issue with the things that you say. Dixon, I got your message. Stay with us. We'll come back and review what the online portals are reporting today, and hopefully we'll have some newspapers as well.